So it means that someone could characterize this area when they see Jalen Green to beat this guy, because people will be brown skinned, juicy skinned, not minded of a person that age that could get married without someone saying that someone has to be employed, because they say that when a young character is agency, he tries to attack the guy because he's not from, when people see him, they see someone else, not Jalen Green. So it means that someone will say that the characteristics that define that person's social ranking is not associated with the characters that have someone like, when I was in the woods, I said something about Zach Levine going to Utah, going to Canada, because it means that people will be like Zach Levine going to Toronto, because when the eagle exists, it means that that would be some type of relation to something about how a character might have a certain lawsuit for power associated with something, that someone try to lock someone in the psych hospital because they claim the necessity of the basic character associated with that person's age and relativity, about how they kept talking about faces, and even in the military, and someone got offended saying that they try to lock him in the psych hospital because the characteristics of that young face is offensive to a different tribe. That's why people can't just be naked in the military, because they have to stay under sergeants who report things to God. Because when angels exist, people will say that people can get angels like the Dollar Tree in the forest, because the sounds that people make without authority is irrelevant to the inhabitants of this area who can't see the difference of angel face and Jalen Green. For someone who was born in society, who walks this walk around this area and sees different majesties of language that is arranged in the same building and the same outer building, that would mean something differently to the physical runes and the runes and the hieroglyphs that relate to Chicago North Branch River, that is angled to the Hancock and the sewer, that says that when I look up at the sun in October, it's differently from the progression, because the sun never goes back even in March, unless it's at the end of the decade going forward, or at the beginning of the decade going to the 28th day of October, where some buildings from the south will be like the Metro train as an organization with the yellow metro and the yellow line of the CTA, that come from different branches, that a train is not always associated with a public branch of material of travel that connects different states and different cities to someone's behavior related to marriage and growth of the human, like a behavioral animal or like an associated being that can't tell the difference of why someone's behavior will relate to someone with a face like someone like Lucy Thomas, who popped up, versus Sophia Rain, who may not have the same platform, may not be from the same place, but still is eligible to be pointed out by someone a certain age that's not interfering with the local construction workers, the local firemen, and the people who ride up in the streets. When I go to 7-Eleven, when I return from this AT&T phone and get attacked from a different year, where two discoveries in forest from a month is different than having a cold, or different from a different 2020 in Skokie, where a video would not be in the same year as an attacker or someone who took action to lock me in a psych hospital or get me evicted, but say that I was going to be in a nursing home, because they claim that they were offended at even Angel Face, because he looks away, that if you see someone with a specific feature that will make someone lock someone in the psych hospital, to try to discredit and disprove that face and see themselves in that position, because they claim that God couldn't get a judgment of the apostles of why the apostolic doctrine relates to people with angel face, because if the apostolics exist, they don't allow people to preach coming to the face of God, that says it's like a judging angels for the face, because they say that when people When God got crucified, he thought that Jesus was playing, when the Lord was playing, when they say that Adam and Eve angels are different than the Moses angels, and the crucifixion is different than the birth, and the apostles are different than the time before the Hebrews and of the Old Testament, and the founders of the earth before United America history and North America would relate to anything that someone could perceive about someone's muscles, body type, face type, any disfirmity, anything that someone judges can't be judged, can't be put in an agency, can't be recognized, and the consumption of upright, full organizational body that leads to the configuration of things that operate, that can be functioned without a train stop, without a CTA train stop, without someone beeping the horn every time a nigga goes past the tracks and getting attacked by police officers threatening to lock me in a hospital, saying that I can't go to I can't go to a different state because they say that when I'm in the room, the lady tries to steal my identity by cooking food or having organizations and principalities that are not linked to how young I was when my face was so young. When I thought about having a woman, light skinned and bone, going even trying to steal my organization, attacking me online, stalking me, saying that when niggas even have a basic account, someone tries to bulge my head, niggas having a nose tip grow, people illegally coming attacking a nigga, saying they weren't even aware of their existence, nasty, hateful spirits trying to agency people against their will, against the recognition of the face and the body of God and the uprightness of the apostolic religion. So that's why when people talk about, oh, people being E7 in the army, people